Hey, welcome in, folks. This is Babbaginator. We're in the long dark. We are on day 13 of our current Interloper run. We are doing Roll With It, which, if you're not familiar with, works like this. Do current challenge. And here's a little bit about myself. Hey, thanks, EG, for the resub. And to see you. Kind of gusty out there, so maybe we'll wait for. How are we doing for enter? We're okay. We're okay. We only have one stick though.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
We're officially on day 14. Two more days here. Okay. Thanks again for the hydrate. And big old stretch. We'll bring it down into the Baba. There we go. So I recently started. Oh, we're behind in these. Okay. So I recently started watching 1883, which is the prequel to the Yellowstone series. Why? Because I'm a sucker for a good Western, and it is surprisingly good. Really, really good. Kind of gusty. Okay, let's see. What can we drop here? I think we'll just accept that this is not going to be useful to
I
us.
can barely walk with this much gear.
Lots of stuff we don't need. Well, I guess we finally have the sewing kit, so let's try to get some things repaired.
I'm gonna need to rest soon.
Oh, we're thirsty. Where's our cloth? Should get more cloth. There's more cloth there. No, it looks like we need to boil up some water.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. I was so tired I could lay down right here.
Whoop whoop! 10 stream streak. Oh, so I skipped yesterday and worked on my application materials for this job back on the West Coast. We'll see if that works out.
getting too heavy to carry.
Okay. $14.22. Okay. A couple more hours, we'll be at day 15. We don't have enough cloth. Need 2 pieces of cloth for that one.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
We also need to fix our bedroll.
Can you eat trees? Because I'm gonna eat a tree. Gotta warm up somehow. If I don't warm up soon. This pack is getting kind of heavy. Come on, little fire. Come on.
Okay. Let's see here.
Oh,
Hey, Joking. Good to see you again. We are busy doing our Roll With It challenge. It's terrible. Oh, that was bad, too. So we started back in Desolation Point, went to Crumbling Highway, Coastal Highway, Ravine. We finally found the hammer in Mystery Lake. So our next plan is to go to Forlorn Muskeg to forge. Actually, no, I think we may have found the hammer. It might have been Mystery Lake. Anyways, found it a little bit late, and we found bedroll as well. So we're off finally. So I had a slow start, but now we're actually pretty well equipped. We even have lantern, and we also have. Where are they, guys? Oh, back over here. We have both the Fire Striker and the Meg Lens pretty early, so. By person trying to get us to buy phantom viewers. Why would we do that? Okay, so we're currently sitting on day 15. We've got 1 day left. And we don't want to go too far. Because we're going to go to Forlorn Muskeg in a second. So yeah, it's a fairly complex challenge. But the basic roll is once you arrive in a region, you have to roll, and it tells you how long to stay. and you cannot leave early, and you cannot leave late, and you have to visit every region in the entire game. So we have beaten this exactly once. Last year, I think it was last year, we managed to visit all the regions. It took us 30 attempts, and it took us 300 and what does it say here? 303, 302 days. 303 days. Took us 303 days to visit all the regions and complete the challenge. So, it's 2026. We're giving it a new shot. Let's see how we do. We are on attempt 11 this year. If I get bored of this challenge, I move on to something else. But really, this challenge was designed to prevent me from getting bored. It is also my longest Interloper run, and technically, longest run ever, mainly because I get bored. Like, the 303-day run is actually technically still alive. I did not die at the end of the 303 days. I just simply finished the challenge and took a break. So if I wanted to, I could resume that challenge run, but I don't really feel a need to. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it ended in Blackrock, which is like, yay, no. Just be grateful you finished it, right? I had a really solid attempt this year that started in Blackrock, and we somehow managed to survive and get out of Blackrock. And it was going really well, and then we died the dumbest way possible. It was really dumb. I think we froze to death in a cave in the ravine. Something stupid like that. Yeah, I mean, people have really long runs, and I think, once you get past about day 100, day 150, if you can survive that long, you figured out the basic mechanics of survival. It's just keep doing the right thing and not mess up. But where people usually start losing their runs is because they get careless, and they get careless because they stop finding something interesting to work on. I think that's usually what happens. You get bored, start inventing new things, and sometimes those new things are very risky, and you probably shouldn't be doing them. Or you're so cautious that you kind of get locked into a few set regions and you never leave. Or you just rotate between them. It's very easy to... I could do a really long run just going back and forth between Desolation Point and Mystery Lake. Just run back and forth that way. Or Desolation Point and Pleasant Valley. Just hitting all the coastal areas and go up and down. Yeah. And then, pick up a few things in PV and come back. But not really fun for me to play that way. I prefer to be on my toes, on my tippy toes. Never quite certain how I'm going to get out of a situation. Yeah. Are you living? Might be surviving, but are you thriving? My Astrid is both daring and cautious. Cautiously daring. Pushed by circumstances beyond her control. Continue to rove, to move, even when the circumstances are bad.
cold in my life.
Yeah, I mean, some people, there's no right way to do it. There's no wrong way to do it. I mean, for me, I like the first 50 days. The very first 50 days when you don't have much and you got to figure out how to survive. And then I start to lose interest after about 150 days. So, yeah, I've never had scurvy in any of my runs. I've never had scurvy. So. I once picked a fight with a cougar. That was a terrible idea. I thought it was in a safer location than it really was, and cost me a run. I forgot to check. I can't remember if we already grabbed the feathers. Looks like it. You get it on purpose at this point. You've had it 6 times. You're collecting it. What happens when you get 7 times? Oh, it doesn't reset. If you want to pass time quickly, get broken ribs and food poisoning. Or parasites. You get the parasites. And you can just pass time. Camp out in Milton Basin. Just pass time. Hey, Bloody Cactus. Welcome in. I guess we should probably do some shout outs over here. Okay, so shout out to Joaquin. I don't know if you have a clip or not. There's a clip.
What?
10 of every craftable. Well, that's a good goal.
You see that?
And then shout out to the Cactus.
Get in the doorway, take her out. Nice. Did we all just get
So I was telling Ichi that I started watching, just this past week, I started watching 1883, which is like the Yellowstone prequel. But it's its own standalone show and feels like a really, really great Western. It's just not perfect, but pretty solid. Oh, no worries. Yeah, I simulcast. It goes both to YouTube and to Twitch. Not that I really expect anyone watches on YouTube. It's mainly there as an archive.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Okay. Is it not working? Let's see, can't remember what the command is right now. Is it socials? Yeah, there you go. Oh, it doesn't suggest me. Most of those, honestly, I feel like most of the video content that I have on the Babbage Nader channel. Yeah, I don't spend a lot of time making clips or reels of any sort, like no short content. It's just an archive. I don't really spend a lot of time in there. So that's possible, but I'm not certain. Maybe I'm just what does it say? Let's see what my stats are right now. Analytics. Yeah, you can see how popular I am. It says my channel got 5 views in the last 28 days on YouTube. Woohoo! So popular. Yeah, I mean, I've got other content on YouTube, different channel, different projects that have more viewership. Even though I'm not even actively doing stuff on them, but yeah, there's. I also have a channel called Ooh, that one called. Let's see. Um, yeah, if you go to the YouTube page, you can find like my other projects. There's something called Fantastic Descriptions, which I really need to go back and I need to recut those and make new versions of those, updated, edited versions of them. But basically, it's a series of videos that kind of brings both my background in creative writing, um, so like professional insight into the teaching and working with writing and description and poetry, all that attention to detail and description and bringing it into the work of D&D and improvisational description. So those two things come together in Fantastic Descriptions, and I do like kind of a deep dive into how descriptions work, for and how to describe different types of things. I really feel like it's overdue for a big overhaul, and like the concept is good. The execution is a little rough. It could be a lot more polished and better edited. So it's a little, even with some structure and organization, it feels a little rambly. Could be a little bit more compressed. And then the other one is my main YouTube channel that I used to run a series called the Hermit Poetry Series, and I would read poetry 3 times a week. And I'd read, I'd have 5-minute videos, and they're just basically me choosing mostly contemporary poetry and reading the poem. There's no like deep dive into the background, there's no unpacking of it. It's just a way to showcase a bunch of like recent work by other people, and occasionally read some of my own work. And so those are kind of fun, but that one I think has got more attention. So people are still watching those videos. One, it's short, and two, I would try to do my best readings of each one. And some people are lazy and don't want to read the poem, and they just want to listen to someone read the poem. So it's fine. Okay, how are we doing time-wise? We are on day 15. Tomorrow is day 16. So we're going to take advantage of one of the little rules in the challenge, which says that if there is a mine or tunnel that connects from one region to the next, the first time you enter the region, you can decide which side the connector belongs to. Does it belong to this side, or does it belong to the other side? And that means that if it belongs to this side, I can enter it, but I can't exit from the other side until my time is done. So, gives you a warm place to hang out, gives you a place to find coal or to do some looting, but it won't solve everything. Well, I'll say that most people that say they hate poetry, it's one or two reasons. One, the way it was taught to them, and two, the poetry they're encountering is not really representative, or it doesn't connect to them. It just doesn't connect to them for some reason. And a lot of time, I think that comes because the people teaching poetry or introducing poetry tend to come from a background in more historical literature. So they might be like big fans of the 19th century or early 20th century. And it's all fine, but there's a lot more interesting poetry that's been happening, in the last 20, 30 years. And so having some of that, some exposure to that, which is kind of what I try to do in my channel, gives people a sense of like, oh, there's poetry that really connects. Yeah, and if you like music, then to some degree you also like poetry. Although there are some types of music that are, the lyrics are more developed and more closer to poetry, and other types of music in which the lyrics are not as well developed and the music does most of the heavy lifting. Like, for instance, songs that repeat one line the entire time and have nothing else to say. It could be... Some pop songs really have just like 3 lines and they just go back over them all the time. And you're like going, there's nothing really interesting. Once you strip the music away, there's nothing really interesting going on in the lyrics. There are other people's lyrics that are absolutely fantastic and really are poetry. And that covers a wide variety of genres. So So yeah, so I think like if you want a sense of like how that might work in an unexpected way, and someone who works with the work ethic and the attention to detail that we normally would associate with someone who is a traditional like page poet, I would go and say I would recommend like going and watch the interview, a 60 minutes interview with Anderson Cooper and Eminem. And it's absolutely fascinating to listen to that conversation and hear Eminem talk about, you know, where do these rhymes come from? How does he construct a verse? And to discover, like, the guy spends a lot of time reading and researching and writing in notebooks any ideas he has. He, like, keeps track of all the, like, all these multisyllabic rhymes that come to him. Or he looks for things that are unusual rhymes that you would never think of rhyming. And Anderson Cooper asked him, this is like, well, what do you do with words that simply have no rhymes, like orange? And he says, orange? What do you mean it has no rhymes? I can at least think of 5 rhymes off the top of my head. And then he goes on to say, um, porridge, 4-inch, door hinge. It's like, what? It's like, just wild. Steep slope sliders. I do remember there was like a few years back there was a lot of like attention to, there was a European singer for, I think it was for, was it for Eurovision, that like had a song that was meant to sound like English, but it was just complete nonsense. And it was like, if you knew no English and you were just listening to it, you would think, hey, that's pretty like poppy and like sounds pretty awesome, and sounds like the guy knows what he's talking about. I was like, no. But no, I did play Steep Slope Sliders. But if you want to go back to the conversation about musicians that
Come on, little fire.
produce songs that feel like poetry, number one, like one of the top on my list for that, would actually be First Aid Kit. You know, the duo, the Scandinavian duo that does the a lot of the music for The Long Dark, and they are really really good. And they do covers, but they also write a lot of their own material, and their own material is brilliant. It is really well written and interesting. Yeah, no, not that one. How are we doing for food? Pancakes, porridge. We're okay. The Flame and the Flood. The Flame and the Flood. Now I've got to take a look at this. Oh, that does look pretty cool. Oh, you know what? I did see previews for this, and I didn't actually buy the game, but I did think about it. It does look pretty amazing. I wonder if they made that musical choice because it's cheaper. Cheaper just to have not to have to pay for a lyricist and instead just have decide on sort of nonsense words. Writing lyrics is hard. Yep, it is hard work. Speaking as someone who has worked with composers and also written meet particular needs for a composer, not just having my work set to music, but also oh, it's one of those projects. Okay, so it's one person doing everything. Yeah, no, that's a good solution. It also saves a lot of money on localization. I used to work in the games industry as a programmer, and that is one thing that we often don't think about.
Walk with this much gear.
Is the cost of for all the text and all the the recordings of voices. Everything that's in English, if you want to sell it in other markets, you're going to have to localize it. You're going to have to pay to have it re-recorded and translated, and that adds up. That's not cheap. 2 hours. How did they do the backpack sounds? That? The backpack sounds. You mean like these sounds? Or like eating things? Oh, when you're walking. Oh.
What a way to die.
Oh no.
I just want to die.
Luckily, I have some of these. The death fish got me, man. Got beaten by death fish. Okay. I mean, sometimes they try initially hooking like a mic up to someone walking with a backpack, but then almost always it's like too soft. Yeah, I get it, Astrid. Go ahead, sleep. 10 hours. Cheers, Astrid. Oh, totally. I sound is one of my favorite things about the game. Is like I love walking outside and I can hear the differences on the different surfaces. I can hear the way the wind sounds indoors versus outdoors versus like I'm in something that has a roof, I'm in something that doesn't have a roof, I'm in something that's metal, I'm in something that's wood. It's all really, really well done. It is definitely like that part of it is really incredibly well planned, well done, recorded, you know. Okay. Okay, friends, we are almost on day 16, which is our exit day. Okay, we're going to fix our coat because this is kind of important. Well, it's better than what it was, but a lot of stuff could be better. Are we at 16 yet? Nope, not yet. Do we want any of this other stuff? We're going to leave this behind.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Okay, this is not my favorite. Will be warm. $16, right? Yep, 16. Time to go.
Oh, I'm starving.
Is this the most direct path out? No. Is this the safest path? Safest path out? Yes. Why? Because in the event that there is a wolf or a bear lurking over there, we will not trigger it. We take the perimeter path. Plus, we can use this and hope that the weather clears up a little bit. But this weather is good for us in the sense that it should mean that we're not, well, as long as it stays like this and our visibility clears up a tiny bit like it does right now, then I think it could mean that we'll be able to navigate through. get through the Forlorn Muskeg safely. But the real clincher will be, what do we actually roll when we step inside? We roll high. We have lots of time to forge. But we will also have, I mean, we have a bedroll now, so we can at least benefit from that. But it's just not a lot of cloth. Oh, speaking of which, we will probably have to tear something up if we don't find any cloth. Right, yeah, it's going to be a problem. We forgot to keep some cloth to make some tools. So, we might be losing our... Might lose this sweater. Yeah. We'll see what's in the safe and other places. Oh, look. Birch bark up here. Oh, yeah. So I'm in the process of getting an application together for a job back out on the West Coast. I just moved out here in February to live in Toronto right now for a position that's a 1-year contract. And then at the beginning of last week, I saw a job posting, which is basically my job, but like the slightly advanced version of it. And it's a 3-year contract that turns into a permanent role versus my 1-year contract, which is just a parental leave. Someone's away on maternity leave, and I'm filling in for her, and then she comes back and takes it over. So this job, there's no like longevity to it. There's no continuing path forward. I would have to be looking for a new job anyways. But 3 to perm is solid. Starting salary should be about the same as what I'm making right now. That is to say, thanks to a new contract negotiated by our union, we got a nice little pay bump. And so if I get the other job, then it would actually start about the same ballpark. In fact, I think part of the reason why our salaries got raised to this level is because of the other university having set their starting salary into the same range. So, yeah, it's kind of funny how that works out. Okay, let's see what happens here. We arrive. It is time to find out how long we're going to be here. So let's go over and check out our dice roller and see what we get. We are early days, still before day 50, so we get to roll a 10-sided die. And the 10-sided die says 8 days, which in this particular case is actually perfectly fine. Oh, and I forgot to update this. So we are 8 days, 0, FM, 16. So that means we'll leave on day 24. So if we also update this. Let's see, FM 018. Leave day 24. And this is now done. And this is now 16. And this is FM. So that gives us plenty of time to get to loot and to get our forge done. And this weather is quite kind of nice. There's some visibility here. I think if we can, we're going to try to push across. Let's see where the bear's at first. This is the trickiest part in the fog. I don't hear the bear. How do we want to do this? We could go this way around and sleep in the cave and then make our way to Hat Creek and then come down through. I think that's what we should do. So the first day we'll take it relatively easy. We'll just it's a little foggy. I'm a little nervous about walking on the track and running right into the bear because we didn't see the bear. So I also am worried time-wise about getting all the way across to the to whatchamacallit, to the homestead. So we're going to opt for this instead. This is a pretty safe route to go. Might run into a wolf or two. We'll leave some cattails behind on the other side just in case we need to feed ourselves later. But this is just a good place to replenish our food. Get some more coal. Maybe find some cloth. Because it would be best if we have some cloth, not just to repair our stuff, but also so that we can actually make tools. So 8 days is plenty of time to do that.
Where can I find something to eat?
Not just regular deer. Okay. we've still got maybe another an hour, 40 minutes to an hour in us. So let's see what we can get. So yeah, I've been this job looks exciting. It's also a data librarian role. And I'd most likely be interviewed by the same people that I used to work with. So I don't know if the whole committee will be the same, but there'll be some overlap, I'm certain. So being interviewed by people who you've worked with in the past, who already know your work ethic and know what you're like as a person, definitely helps. So I think I should probably get at least to the finalist stage. That's my hope. And then we'll see. We'll see if I've gained enough experience and training to check all the boxes that they want at this time. Like for some things, I am already good to go, and other things, it would have been nice to have at least 6 more months of experience. You know, the funny thing is, if I were to stay in my current job for the full length of the contract and not have to leave early, you know, if I get this job. So if I were to stay until like January, I would have developed I think the entire skill set that they're looking for. It's really, yeah. But the other thing I kind of dread, not looking forward, is having to figure out how to move cross country again. And unlike this move, at the beginning of this year when I moved out to Toronto, I knew it was a 1-year position. So I planned on what I could take with me in one car. For this new position, since it's 3 years to permanent, then you're basically looking at, you know, I pull things out of storage and have to relocate completely. And my stuff is sitting in Saskatchewan, so I'd have to stop in Saskatchewan and then arrange for the rest of the move there. I don't know. And the later in the year, the more difficult it is to do that move. Yeah. Yeah, rental market is improving a little bit in Vancouver. It's still not great, but it's improving a bit. But I think like where the biggest benefits in the rental market are right now in Vancouver, where the prices have dropped the most, is for the 1-bedrooms. And I don't know if I want a 1-bedroom. I think I might need a 2-bedroom if I'm moving all my stuff. A 2-bedroom also gives me the option to have a roommate, which in the short term would be a good way to, you know, more aggressively save. But roommates are a real pain. You have to find the right person. Okay. Let's see here. Let's at least pop in here and make some more torches. And then decide if we're staying or not. I think we have enough time that we could go. Make it all the way to Hat Creek.
Come on, little fire.
Yeah, I think we're going to push through and try to get to Hat Creek. Okay, we're nice and toasty warm. Drop some tea. Oh, this looks better. See what's coming at us. Oop, we got a wolf out there. Oh, there's the wolf again. Okay. I think we're going to be fine. As soon as I said that, right? As soon as I said that. Oh no, we're almost we're out of bandages. That's not good. We're going to need a lot more cloth. Oh, why did I do that? Fired. Hey, we made it to Hat Creek. It's still light out. Okay, so Making our way up Cat Creek. That's Hat Creek, not Cat Creek. I was about to say Cat Creek. Let's hope not. Let's hope that there is no cougar waiting for us in here. Ooh. Ooh. There's a relatively new anime that's out right now, called Cat and Dragon, and it's so cute. It's about a dragon who grows up thinking it's a cat, and then once he realizes eventually that he's actually a dragon, he decides to stay. So kind of what happened is, like, his mother had found this cave, and had laid her egg, which was him, and buried it, and then had flown away only to be killed by human hunters, dies. And not long after that, a cat Sith, sort of a magical cat, also pregnant, comes to the same cave, gives birth to her litter of kittens, and in the process of their magical presence there, it awakens the sleeping dragon's egg, and it hatches, and she ends up with a new strange looking kitten, this small dragon hatchling, and so she decides to adopt it, and she teaches it, all the things you need to do to survive as a magical cat in the forest, and to be wary of humans. And she knows that, it's actually a dragon, but doesn't treat him any differently. And so he grows up, and then one day, he discovers he can communicate with the forest spirits, and they say, "What do you mean you're a cat? You're a dragon. You're clearly a dragon." And then he learns how to fly, and he learns how to do other stuff. And then he basically stays in the same area in the forest, and he just protects generation after generation of cats that come through. So that's kind of sweet. There's some tragedy, and there's a lot of time that passes. Obviously, he's a dragon, so time passes differently for him, and so you see multiple generations of cats go through. But and the humans go from being dangerous to being absolutely terrified of the dragon protector of cats, and the dragon insists that he should not be called Emperor Dragon, but instead the Cat Dragon. And then all the kittens refer to him as Winged Uncle, which I love. Winged Uncle, help us. Emperor, yeah, exactly. So he just wants to be the Cat Dragon. Kind of good. I mean, it's not a big action anime or anything, but it's kind of like a cozy anime, I think you would call it. But I have seen some other ones that are very promising. What am I watching right now that I'm really liking? Yeah, a dragon named Cat meets a dragon named Fox. Yeah, exactly. Hold on a second. We're going to look up the. See if I can figure out how to. Okay. Yeah, hold on a second here. We'll take a look here, and I can tell you what the other ones are that have been quite good. This one I thought was a really interesting premise. And not everyone's into like more shoujo like style anime, but this one actually is quite interesting. It's you know, the main character is so it takes place in sort of a fantasy realm. You've got like all these young girls who are being trained to be future imperial consorts, to be like not the queen, but to be part of the royal sort of consorts, harem, whatever it is. And so there's a vying for like jockeying for power within that. But among them, there's one who is just widely respected by everyone, beloved by everyone, almost everyone. There's one other person who is deeply jealous of her, and so there's a accident which turns out not to be an accident. It's really more like a murder attempt. But what no one knows, other than these two women, is that the attacker used dark magic to swap her soul with the other one, who she pushed off of the balcony in an attempt to kill her. And now she's taken the place of the beloved consort, and the one who was her soul is now in the villainess's body, and so everyone hates her and would like her to die. And so she's like trying to figure out how to survive, but she's been cursed, so she can't tell anyone what happened. So I think that's a really interesting like premise. It's like, what do you do if you are now inhabiting the body of the person who wanted to kill you and take your place, and the person who most hates you is now living in your body? But here's the catch. When you were in your body originally, your original body is actually extremely weak and frail. And the villainess who's now in that body has discovered that it's actually really difficult to do anything in that body. And the heroine has discovered that the villainess's body is actually in prime health, and she's able to do all the things that she was never able to do earlier in life. And so she's actually loving the fact that she no longer has asthma and no longer has all these other problems. Except for the fact that everyone wants to kill her, and so she's almost executed, and all these other things happen. So, but it was an interesting premise. I'm trying to think what else has been kind of an interesting watch lately. I have very much loved this particular series. And I think this is unusual because I have not seen very much in this vein. I don't know how to pronounce this. Jagadar. It's basically, I have never seen a Japanese anime where the protagonist is Persian, Muslim, and this is in the time of the great expansion of Genghis Khan. And Genghis Khan has raided all these different places, and she was an educated slave or servant, and now is captive and brought back to Mongolia. And so it's about how she survives. And I've just never seen, like, this is a moment in history, and this is like, and they work with multiple languages, and it's also like we rarely see sort of Islam represented in Japanese anime, especially in a sympathetic way. It's just really, really unusual. Also the Mongolian focus is really interesting. Yeah, so it's just a really good anime. Very different, so I recommend that. Yeah, and there's like a lot of season twos of other shows right now. Some of them better than others. Some of them I kind of think, the manga was enough, and the more I watch the anime, the more I don't like the show. It's like, but hey. Oops, we're gonna get rid of this. In terms of like, if you're looking for something more action oriented, I think what's it called, Black Torch is looks to be quite interesting. Oh, and I'm also watching. Oh, what's that series? Tomb King, which is it's actually an earlier story from the same artist writer who did Solo Leveling. So his earlier project was Tomb King, and so that has just started releasing right now, and that's like pretty, seems to be a pretty strong contender to kind of take over the Solo Leveling splot. I was like, no, not splot. All right. Okay, so we got coal. This is an important part of the trip, was we needed to have coal so we could do the forge. We got coal. How much coal do we have right now? We have more than enough to do the forge. Why do we have rope here? What's that rope going to do for us? Nothing. Oh, we use that rope to do a climb down. So we can go from sort of this little bench area up here, and we could use the rope to climb down to the lower area. But honestly, I don't really see much value in that. Okay. We need to get some more. "38 sticks, that's plenty of sticks to our fire. We're going to boil more water. That's the right thing to do. Okay, let's figure out what we're going to drop. Stuff to cure. And how many of these we got? 5 and 1. Okay. I think torches wise, we're getting pretty low. Yeah, so. So we're at 10. Let's see if we can get a few more here. Okay. And then what else can we drop here? Really don't need all these right now. Let's go out there and see if we can find ourselves some cloth.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
This is really nice weather right now. See if we can get a better shot. Okay. Okay, let's hope for some cloth.
I can't be far behind. Thank you.
It's something. Okay, let's see what we've got over here. Okay, there we go. So first some cloth. Okay, out of luck, no cloth here. So we'll probably have to tear up something. I think there's usually some item of clothing when we get to expenses. So it's not going to be complete, waste, but it would be nice to get more cloth before then. Oh, these guys. Over this way. Oh. Okay. Okay, here we are in
Drop
cave.
this here.
That's not very good. Okay. Our souls. Ready here. Mm-hmm.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Okay, let's turn it here. Okay, so let's see here. Bedroll. Efficiently tired. Sleep for 10 hours. $16, almost $17. I guess the next step would be to cross over and stay in the bunker. Yeah. But we've got 8 days, so we can take our time. Now officially on day 17. So we've survived our first night here, and we have 7 more days to go. Okay, so we are going to step out and step back in to save. We'll wrap up with the poem, and then we'll go raid someone else.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Okay. So day 17, let's update our calendar on these things. Made it 1. Yeah, my pleasure. We are going to wrap up with home. And I'm going to ask home chooser. Using the dark. I guess we could do that. Oh, Wisik, I think we were going to continue reading through the keynote I offered on what we make of failure. So, guess it's now been a week and a half since I gave a keynote speech a keynote address at a writing retreat. And I was trying to decide what to speak on, and I ended up speaking on failure. So, and it's really about the fear of failure, and it's about the function of failure in the creative process and in lots of other parts of our life. Okay, so we're now into the 3rd page, so we'll go into this one here. From my keynote on what we make of failure. Failure is not a destination, unless we let it become one. Each failure is a rung in a ladder that ascends ever higher, trying to reach what seems beyond the reach of language. Speaking as a former computer programmer, if you want an education in failure, consider writing code, where almost always your first draft is riddled with error, sometimes catastrophically so. and you spend hours, sometimes days, deep in the lines, searching for whatever is causing the program to fail. Sometimes your code refuses to run, whether due to a problem with your logic or your own critical misunderstanding of what you've written, how it does not mean what you think it means. Sometimes a small error or gap in reasoning ripples through the entire system, and when you find it at last, there is a moment of joy and relief. Sometimes, in the process of fixing errors and understanding the root causes of failure, you arrive at a deeper understanding of what's possible within the language you've chosen, and your imagination grows a little wider, a little wilder. There are times, too, when we inherit a body of code from someone else, a previous project we've been asked to rework and integrate into a new title. Stepping into another person's code can feel a bit transgressive, as if we trespassed into the workings of a mind not our own. Sometimes the code includes comments, non-compiled text, and margins intended for the programmer or for whoever finds themselves editing the code. And sometimes there's nothing to hold on to, and you must puzzle your way through their thinking, grappling with the occasional note that reads, "I'm not certain why this works, but if you remove this, the whole thing breaks." Editing our own past writing can sometimes feel this way as well, fraught and prone with error, especially when we try to step back into drafts we've left for years. What was I thinking? How does this work? Or why did I give up here? Sometimes old drafts feel like fragile machines, and that the slightest touch or change might break everything. The specter of failure, small or catastrophic, looms large over us as we wrestle with our own writing and revision. I remember many years ago when I lived in Los Angeles and had just started going to open mic poetry events throughout the city. It was terrifying at first to get up in front of people and read my work, which often felt raw and not fully polished, but the desire to speak and hear the words of the wider world was so compelling, as was the idea of setting them free, letting them out of myself. I remember asking one of the regular readers how they managed to read with such confidence, as if without fear, and they told me they were always nervous. If they weren't nervous, it meant that they had gotten comfortable. You have to have skin in the game, they said. Being nervous is normal. It's how you know these things matter. And what matters is what we do with that fear, how we channel it, how we turn it into something else. Okay, so that's another section from What We Make of Failure. So remember, I was speaking to writers, and so it's kind of why I keep circling back to writing and its connection to failure. Create failsafe. Okay. Yeah. So we are going to go find someone else to raid. But thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Let's see. Witcheroonie, who is available? Wow, there's not a lot of people streaming tonight. Okay, so Dude Quixote, Deadpool, World of Wolf. Let's see. Okay. So I don't know. What do you think? Easy choice would probably be to go visit Deadpool, who's doing a pretty hardcore tourney. It's tough. What do you guys think? Where should we go? I'm always in favor of checking out new people. So I'm going to listen in on one of these. So let's see. So this person has problems with their mic. What is this person play? Long Dark, but try to see if they're an Interloper player or. Okay, maybe we'll just pop over to. Dude Quixote is a Linux gamer who apparently recently, I think, must have had a fresh reinstall or somehow lost his entire all his challenges and feats, so he has to redo them. So probably new installation. So we're gonna go raid this guy, see what he's up to and how he's doing it. Okay, so we're hang out, visit someone new, and see how they play TLD. And we'll be back again. I don't know yet if it's going to be Monday night or Tuesday night this coming week as to, or maybe it'll be Wednesday night. Might be Wednesday night. I might want to actually crank through my job application this week, so I might have to wait until Wednesday before I'm back. If I can, I'll drop in either Monday or Tuesday night. So, take care and see you on the other side of the raid.